Procurement Cloud Level 1 certification session. My name is Bob Moyer. Today I will show you how Oracle Self-Service Procurement Cloud can streamline the procure-to-pay process through automation and supplier collaboration. This is Oracle's safe harbor statement, which essentially states that if I discuss product direction or the roadmap for any reason during the presentation, then it would be for informational purposes only. Today's focus will be a brief overview of Oracle's Procurement Cloud capabilities, followed by a demonstration of the application highlighting the following: creating a requisition, automated approval and creation of a purchase order, and third, how suppliers can leverage procurement collaboration capabilities to gain visibility into their customers' procurement process. Let's get started. If you talk to procurement executives, they're going to tell you that procurement organizations across the board are always challenged to help their businesses keep costs under control. To do this, they need to expand their influence across the business to ensure that employees are buying from approved suppliers. They also need to keep up with increasing volumes without adding headcount. What this means is that procurement must become more efficient. But there are many impediments that stand in the way of procurement becoming more efficient and more effective. These range from missed cost savings to inconsistencies across the buying process that prevents leveraging best practices and ensuring that employees make their purchases through only approved vendors. Procurement also struggles with manual processes such as rekeying of data in spreadsheets, which makes procurement organizations inefficient and slow to respond. Based on a survey where key procurement issues were quantified, you'll notice that 60% of invoices are still manually keyed into AP systems and 40% of the spend is not contract compliant, or in other words, represents maverick spending. Overall, their processes are highly inefficient and make poor use of automation. All right, so how can Oracle help? Oracle's Procure-to-Pay solution delivers many key benefits that can help you automate and improve purchasing, invoice reconciliation, and spend management activities. Another key benefit or flexibility that you get with Oracle's Cloud Procure-to-Pay solution is that it can coexist with your on-premise solutions in case you were not ready to move all your key business processes to the cloud. While we are discussing self-service procurement and supplier collaboration today, there are many additional advantages to a complete procurement cloud solution that Oracle can deliver to you. For instance, sourcing provides the ability to initiate and manage sourcing events such as requests for information, requests for proposals, and auctions. Self-service procurement, one of the key focuses of our discussion today, provides employees the ability to create requisitions either via punch-out to a supplier website or searching through the supplier-loaded catalogs. Core purchasing provides back-office capabilities for professional buyers to approve purchase requisitions, create purchase orders, and blanket purchase agreements, at the same time being able to create and maintain supplier records. Procurement contracts affords the ability to create formal contractual agreements with your suppliers by specifying terms and conditions related to items and services that can be purchased, with prices, quantity, delivery, invoicing terms, and much more. Supplier portal provides your suppliers visibility into your procurement activities and allows suppliers to acknowledge purchase orders, respond to negotiation events like RFIs, RFQs, RFPs, create and send advanced shipment notifications, or ASNs, invoices, and so on. Reporting and analytics, these are embedded within all the cloud capabilities, and that allows users to configure and create easy-to-use dashboard views along with custom reports, graphs, and charts. Next, I'll be walking you through a demonstration of the self-service procurement process as seen here. First, I'll show you how to search for an item via punch-out to a supplier website and create a requisition. Second, I'll show you how to search for an item through a supplier-loaded catalog and create a requisition. And I'll highlight how the embedded workflow and pre-negotiated purchase agreements will assist in automatically generating the requisition approval and purchase order approval. And then third, I'll show a streamlined process for managing receipts. And then last, I'll touch on the value of providing your suppliers visibility into your procurement activities, all of which helps you and your suppliers collaborate more effectively. Now, in our scenario, first we're going to take you through the self-service procurement application as a requisitioner. I'll be highlighting how the system will help the requisitioner in the following ways: create a requisition via supplier punch-out catalog, create a requisition via supplier loaded catalog, review dollar threshold based approval hierarchy tied to the requisitioner, automated requisition and purchase order approval and creation, and then self-receipt of those items. Next, I'll switch roles to a supplier and walk you through the Oracle Cloud Supplier Portal. Oracle Cloud Supplier Portal provides your suppliers complete visibility into your procurement activities and extends collaboration capabilities to your suppliers by providing a single location for them to manage agreements, purchase orders, invoices, and negotiations. Suppliers are also able to take necessary action, such as acknowledging receipt of a purchase order or responding to a sourcing event like an RFI or RFP. In addition, suppliers have the ability to create and send advanced shipment notifications, check customer receipts, and view payment status. For our demo, we've made some assumptions that I would like to point out. The first is the company has set up a link to a vendor catalog via a punch-out. The company has limited which items the user can requisition. And then the third, company and vendor have the items and prices assigned to a default contract for purchasing purposes. Now, let's transition to the web demonstration. Okay, so here we see that Calvin Roth, our requisitioner, has logged into the Oracle Procurement Cloud application. Calvin uses the icons to easily access relevant work areas and dashboards, and the social and announcement cards that you see here on the left-hand side, his relevant dashboard. While the springboard grid on the home page provides him an iconic view of his commonly accessed applications, the navigator provides Calvin a list view of all the applications that his application user role has access to. Leveraging the global header section provides access to common functionality such as the ability to search, favorites and recent items, things that have been flagged as important or wanting to follow, watch lists, those items that are perhaps critical in nature, notifications. This is tied to the social aspect of the application, where you can see more or less an audit trail of all these requisitions and then associated communications. And then when not on the home page, a single click on the home icon or the company logo will quickly return you back to this page. Now, Calvin has many user roles in his organization, as you see here, but the first thing that is essentially on his mind today is to order a new monitor and color printer. What he needs to do is select procurement and then purchase requisitions. The main requisition workspace is displayed, enabling users to do the following: search catalog, browse catalog, and view all their requisitions. And then finally, if the requisitions have been turned into purchase orders. In self-service procurement, Calvin's going to create two types of requisitions. One via a punch-out from an external supplier catalog and the other from a supplier loaded catalog. So let's show you how easy it is to search for an item and create a requisition. I'm going to search for Dell. Click the punch-out. You can have this set to established geographical locations. We'll continue forward. Here are a couple of items that are available to you for adding to your cart. And again, these items have been loaded based on the purchase agreement with Dell. I'm going to select the first one, add it to my cart. select to create order requisition. Then a few more radio buttons and continue. And now you're ready to submit your order requisition. You're then brought back to the My Requisitions area to view the newly created requisition for the Dell monitor, as well as the status, incomplete. But now we need to take the requisition for further processing and approval. And to do that, click Edit and Submit. Here we're going to type in our justification. Additional items such as need by date, deliver to location, in analytics, give users valuable information to make an actionable decision based on expectations for delivery time. You'll also be able to view the billing information, add or send notes to a supplier, along with attachments, and then down here at the bottom, under the source field, highlights the purchasing agreements that has been set with Dell computers. Manage approvals helps with understanding if the dollar amount is within Calvin's dollar threshold based on approval hierarchy. So in this demo, the threshold is set at $50,000. Therefore, Calvin can create but also self-approve this requisition. Let's go back. Now, however, if the quantity on the requisition was changed to, let's say, a much higher number, 120,000, and possibly far greater than the threshold of $50,000, we're going to click Manage Approvals. And what we're going to find is that the system recognizes that Calvin is not approved for such a high dollar amount, and thus his requisition is sent to his manager, Casey Brown, for approval. Let's go back, change the quantity back to 1, and continue submitting this requisition. You can note your requisition number. And again, once the submission is complete, you are brought back to the My Requisitions area to view the requisition status as being processed, pending approval. Now, while the first requisition for the Dell monitor works its way through the self-service procurement process, Calvin can begin his second item search for a color printer using the supplier-loaded catalog. Now, you can search for an item in a couple different ways. The first is to use a category search. I'm going to click on Office Technology, then Printer, and here you can view all the options available. And then the second and quicker way is to use the search field. After reviewing his options, click Add to Requisition. And just like what we did earlier with the Dell monitor, in the requisition portlet at the right-hand side, we need to provide a justification. Same screen as we saw earlier with requisition lines, delivery, billing information, and so forth. And now ready to submit. You can note your requisition number here. And as the second requisition works its way through the approval process, we're going to view the Dell Monitor purchase order. The second line down here, scroll, select, and here you can view all the details from the requisition as well as a PDF version. And this one can be customized to fit your organization's needs. You can also view the order lifecycle history on the far right portlet and view a status of that order. And this again provides another view of embedded analytics. So to recap, we've done a few of the following. We've shown you how to create a requisition using a punch-out to a supplier catalog and a requisition from a supplier loaded catalog in self-service procurement. And by the way, after we had that first one approved, you can see the second one has been approved as well. There's the Kohler photo printer, approved. And so now that the two requisitions have been processed and again auto approved, I wanted to touch on how we're going to receive these items. So from the home screen, okay, we're going to select Procurement, My Receipts, and this will take us to the self-service receiving work area where we're going to search for a requisition and purchase order. There are many different ways to search, as you see here in advanced search. Here are the results at the bottom. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring all the most recent or most current requisitions and orders to the top. Click on Sort Descending. Here are the most recent ones that we just submitted earlier. There's the requisition numbers, purchase order numbers. Select the first one on the left, and then the one below it. Enter in the quantity. You can also enter waybill packing slip information if desired, but in this case, we're just going to put in the quantity and then submit. Your items have now been received. So again, to recap, we've shown you how to create a requisition using a punch-out to supplier catalog and a requisition from a supplier-loaded catalog in self-service procurement. Then, just now, we showed you a streamlined process to receive both these items. Our final stop is to show the supplier portal. And I'm going to toggle over to that now. The supplier portal allows your suppliers complete visibility into your procurement activities, such as managing agreements, purchase orders, invoices, and negotiations. And just as we saw with Calvin Roth's dashboard, Ryan uses the supplier portal to easily access relevant work areas and dashboards important to him. We're going to select Supplier Portal. On the left-hand side, we have a tasks menu, and this helps you to easily find perhaps your desired task to complete. There's a main real estate area that highlights some work lists that are going on, and a work list area is a record of a task that a user must complete. Let's select any and call up some of the work lists that are assigned to Ryan Lee. And you can see those embedded right here. On the Orders subtab, you can view all purchase orders sent to the supplier, as well as pending change orders. And you can view the most recent purchase order in PDF form. The Agreements subtab page displays purchasing agreements that have had recent activity, ones that are pending, perhaps pending change orders, or pending authoring. Now, under the Activity Since area, we're going to put in the most recent date today and make it 1 year from today to view the agreements. Select our supplier site, and these are supplier sites connected to specific customer business units. And by clicking Go, it's going to open all the agreements with Lee Supplies. The Schedule subtab shows open purchase orders, schedule due date, and amount, overdue quantity, and provides a visual indicator if the schedule is past due. Suppliers can also view the recent receipts that have been entered. On the Negotiations subtab, suppliers are invited to sourcing events like RFIs, RFQs, and auctions, and they can respond to these events via the supplier portal. Now, we will cover this in more detail in future certification sessions. And here are those events that are going on. Thus far, we have been discussing how the suppliers are reacting to our procurement needs, but now let's discuss how suppliers can help us be more efficient and streamline our procurement activities. Over here on the left, I'm just going to highlight the ASN and ASBN tasks. So when the suppliers are ready to ship the material to us, they can notify us by either creating an advanced shipment notification, ASN, or an advanced shipment billing notification, ASBN. An ASN is a notice from a supplier to let the receiving organization know that a shipment is on its way. In addition, suppliers can also create and send an ASBN which carries both shipping and billing information with it. I'm going to click Manage Shipments, select Search, and we're going to see all the ASNs and ASBNs that have been created by Ryan Lee. Let's examine one of these ASNs in a little more detail. I'm going to select the one at the bottom, Lee 001, under the shipment column. And you're going to see here, you have all the shipment details. The ASN number, supplier, ship date, ship to location, expected receipt date, special handling instructions for the receiving organization. And then at the bottom, the line section shows the purchase order which contains the item and quantity that will be shipped. Next, a supplier can search for items received. Here we're going to look for a receipt and related details such as how many were ordered, how many were returned, possibly due to being damaged, and how many were received. And to do that, we're going to select View Receipts. Type in our receipt number. Select Search. Here's our receipt number. And again, these details are showing you how many were ordered, how many were returned, possibly due to being damaged, how many were received, and you can see when the item was received. Lastly, we're going to examine invoices. In the invoice field, we're going to enter an invoice number, a paid status, and listed here are all the invoices from Lee Supplies. So for more detail, you can click on the payment number. I'm going to use the first one as an example. And this is going to drill down to additional details such as payment date, payment type, remit account, and much more. In conclusion, we have taken you through the self-service procurement application demo. We showed you how to search for an item via punch-out to a supplier website and create a requisition. Second, we showed you how to search for an item through a supplier loaded catalog and create a requisition. We also highlighted the embedded dollar threshold approval workflows in pre-negotiated purchase agreements and how these tasks assist with requisition and purchase order creation and approval. Then we showed you a streamlined process for managing receipts. And lastly, we touched on the value of providing your suppliers visibility into your procurement activities. Thank you, and this concludes our session on Oracle Self-Service Procurement Cloud Level 1 certification.